Please welcome to the stage Nancy Connolly and Katie Ladika.
Hi everyone, I'm Nancy Connolly. I lead our home lending and insurance teams on Bankrate, and I am also a mom of 2 boys, a 5-year-old and a 1.5-year-old.
Hi all, I'm Katie Ladika, and I lead our central HR operations team. I'm a girl mom of 2. And before we jump in, I'd like to take a moment to just shout out our amazing designer, Kaylee Ground, who not only shared her creative abilities with us, but also kept us on track these last couple weeks. So thank you very much, Kaylee.
So we've seen a lot of amazing presenters over the last couple days, and you might be wondering, what is their secret? How did they get so good at presenting? And the truth is, many of them just ask their kids for advice. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Mommy has a big presentation at work this week in front of a lot of people. What advice do you have for Mommy?
Just do your best and don't let anything stop you.
And if you ever are scared, then just take some deep breaths, like roller coaster breathing and butterfly breathing.
What advice would you give Mommy before her big presentation?
I don't know what advice is.
What about you, Everett?
Don't trip and fall and brush your teeth.
Well, it's about Bankrate. Do you think you can do it for me?
No.
So I have to do it?
All right, Dylan and Ryan, do you have any advice for me for my presentation at work this week?
Make sure to bring your energy and your A game.
I think you should bring Cooper.
Well, when Daddy has to give a big presentation in front of a lot of people, do you have any advice for me?
Yeah. I have any food for them?
Yeah, I should give the people food?
Yeah.
Good advice.
Vicente, ¿qué consejo le tienes a mamá para su presentación?
Cook.
Usar un truck.
Sí.
Qué buena idea, un monster truck.
Sí.
Muy bien.
Hey Pops, here you got a big presentation next week. Not sure who let you up there, not sure who approved that, but some advice would be to stay fully clothed on stage. That's probably a good idea.
And what else? Any other advice?
Ballerina. Wear ballerina.
Ballerina shoes?
You think that I'm standing next to you and keeping you super, super safe.
That's a good one. Any other advice?
I forget.
All right, so as you can see from that video, parenting is full of cute moments, funny moments, silly moments, but it's also its own form of natural disaster at times. And so Katie and I are going to talk to you all about navigating that transition to parenthood, whether it's your first time, second time, third time, or fourth, fifth, whatever, and then how you balance that as a working parent. So picture this. You find out you're going to become a parent. You're filled with all the emotions. You're excited. You're scared. You're like, oh, wow, that was faster than I was expecting. Or finally, I've been waiting forever. And also like, how am I going to keep a tiny human alive? And at the same time, as you kind of progress in that journey, you're starting to figure out, how do I navigate this life change at work? When do I tell my team? What were my benefits again? I wasn't really paying attention when that was not relevant to me. Will this impact my performance review? Oh my gosh, it's review time. How am I going to make sure my team's taken care of when I'm out of office on leave? So then you have the baby, and it's amazing, but you're exhausted, you haven't slept, and you're like, oh my gosh, my brain no longer works, and I don't know if it will ever work again. Am I going to have to figure out how to breast pump at the office? Like, that's awkward. What am I supposed to do there? Did my paycheck come in? Was it right? How do I even check that? I don't even know. How do I even log on? I forget how to do anything. And so then you get to the point where you're getting closer to that time of return. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, did my team miss me? Is it a good thing that they missed me or not a good thing? Did it go too smooth? Did I kind of want them to mess up a little bit and be like, oh, you're back? But also just how am I going to manage working now while being a parent? So when we got together back in March at a senior women's dinner, and I'm sure maybe for some or all of you, you've either experienced some of these thoughts or feelings yourselves, or maybe you know a parent and have heard other people express these feelings. And at our dinner, this came up as a topic of conversation. And at first it was kind of funny to commiserate on some of the things, but then it was also a little bit eye-opening of, oh wow, so many other people were feeling this angst and this stress and navigating the personal and all, but also like, how do I deal with the social impact in work and all of the things and figuring it all out? So Shannon McFadden did what Shannon does and reached out and said, hey, this came up at dinner. Does anybody want to be part of trying to figure out a solution here where we can better support our women? Naturally, tons of people stepped in to volunteer, and a Tiger team was born, or better said, a Tigress team, given that is a bunch of powerful women in there.
And these Tigresses, I'm pretty sure that's a word, comprised of these amazing female leaders, all at different stages in this journey, along with our HR pros, met regularly over a 6-month period. And during that time, we had a lot of thoughtful conversations. And we decided we already have a plethora of resources, but we need to focus on how do we enhance this experience. Did I hit the right button? Okay. And so we set out to focus, how do we enhance the experience, reduce that angst, while making, support easier to find, easier to use, and still have that sense of belonging for our RV moms. And what I loved about this team was the collaborative spirit we all had, the passion, the enthusiasm, the kind of want to just swaddle up our RV moms and make them feel like they can bring their best selves to work and at home, albeit probably minus some sleep and maybe even some showers, but we were excited to set out on this journey. And so I'd love to share with you some of what we accomplished. Maybe I'll plagiarize a little bit from Katie Donovan. So first, we have a new comprehensive user guide. And shout out to Constance Whitner for all her hard work in putting this together. If any of you have the opportunity to have her support through your journey, she's amazing, and we're lucky to have her. And with this guide, this included checklists that you can pop into at any stage in the process, along with FAQs, information about our benefits, pay transparency to understand for your leave, along with guidance for communication with your manager and your team before, during, and after. Additionally, we set out to develop more supportive resources for working with parents, including integrated training with our reviews process, as well as additional content for managers, and intentional check-ins when returning to work with either your talent partner or your manager. And also, the opportunities to really share the working parent experience and highlight that across the organization, which included the Brain Food panel. Nancy, you were part of that panel, along with some of our other RV parents and caretakers. Nancy and I up here today sharing about this experience and this journey, as well as the support from moms that have volunteered in their respective work locations to be captains for folks on this journey. And of course, the continued community connection through our moms and dads circles. If you're not in those Slack channels, I encourage you to join. And so with that, we developed a lot of great opportunities, resources, experiences to share. Now, I have to take a moment, being that I'm in HR Ops, to make sure that I plug open enrollment. In case you didn't hear, it ends tomorrow, so make sure you check out the hub. But I also want to, chat on a couple of things to keep in mind. And whether you're a new parent, a soon-to-be parent, a one-day parent, or you know a parent, some things to keep in mind are that When you're in the midst of a sleep regression, know that you can turn to Lyra for some soundscapes or some meditation. You can have the option to have your review delivered during your leave or after your leave. And Madeline is a great resource if you need help managing your calendar or setting boundaries when you return to work. But most of all, it's that your teammates care about your well-being and your success. And there's a guide, whether that be in digital form or human form, that's ready and willing to share all the tips and tricks in this wild experience and journey of parenting.
I think the one thing that I want to make sure everyone takes away from this is we already had amazing resources, but just that process had a little bit of friction, stress, angst. And so I would just encourage you all that if there's something that you see that could be better, just figure out who the right people are to get in a room and figure out what that solution should look like and make it happen. We were met with so much passion and enthusiasm and excitement of like, oh, wow, this is great. Yeah, let's have the conversation. Let's figure out what could be better. And I can guarantee that would be the case with anything that you were trying to improve for the community. And even if it's a pain point that no longer applies to you, like my husband frequently reminds me we will never have another kid ever, which is fine. But go ahead and leave the woodpile higher for others. So with that, thank you so much to everyone behind the scenes who helped make all these things happen. And again, encourage everyone to be the change. Thank you.